Well, I was waiting. Newland had been in touch with me regarding this year's council tax, which of course I hadn't paid any of. And for the court case, shall we say, for now, I'd been gifted the money to pay on the assumption that the magistrate was going to find me guilty, funnily enough. So when the court order came through and that was wrong, and therefore null and void and unlawful, I took that money and I paid this year's. And I did a video on Wednesday because I received confirmation from Newlyn that HDC had in fact admitted that I'd used that money for this year's. And, blah, blah. And apparently they want 500 quid for one letter and one email or something. Jesus. So I was waiting to see what would happen. I thought they would just spiel out the court order again, sign it and put the correct date of birth on it. Now, as honestly, in the last 7 years, one thing has never failed to surprise me, and that is the stupidity of these people's actions. And I couldn't have been more wrong, again. Now, I've got a letter from Cambridgeshire Magistrates Court, signed, funnily enough. Do you notice that, how they signed that? Although it's distinctly dodgy and almost definitely scanned on. But they couldn't manage to put a signature on the court order at all. So, on August 3rd, 2016, this court found you guilty of culpable neglect due to your failure to pay council tax to Huntingdonshire District Council. The magistrates made you the subject of an order for your committal to prison, but this was resuspended on the terms shown below, because I had 7 days to pay. According to Huntingdonshire District Council, you have failed to comply with such terms. Well, yes, that's because your court order is unlawful, not signed, wrong date of birth, and illegal. Terms of suspension. Date of committal, total amount outstanding. Resuspend, well, that just says how much I owe and I haven't paid. There's no terms there at all. Oh, see, resuspended on the terms of suspension, yes. Right. This means that the warrant committing you to prison falls to be issued unless you pay the total sum outstanding to Huntingdonshire District Council. Do not send payments to the Clerk of the Justices. I'm not kidding. They put it all in big type, or block type sometimes. I don't make this up. You should attend a hearing at which the issue of the committal warrant will be considered. The illegal. Oh, sorry, no, the committal warrant, not the court order, which is the final say, which kind of trumps a committal warrant, especially if it's wrong and not signed and illegal. This will take place at Huntingdon Magistrates Court on Wednesday, 7th September. Why is it always a fucking Wednesday? Failure to respond to this notice will result in the issue of a committal warrant without further notice. Oh, don't worry, I'll be responding. Not in the way you think. It goes on. Mr. Davies, Ian Davies, who's obviously best chums with the magistrates and goes drinking with them, has written to me twice. Further to your letter dated 12th August, and upon your instructions, we have allocated the payment of blah to this year's council tax rather than the last year's thing for which the suspended committal. And this is when Newlyn want 500 quid for sending me a letter and an email and some threatening text messages. The court will notify you of the next hearing date, whereupon you'll be asked to explain your decision not to comply. No, I can't say that because that's not blocked up type. With the suspended committal order. Well, because your court order was wrong and illegal, and it wasn't signed, and it had the wrong date of birth on it. Neil and love them, they're still going. They've actually emailed me and said, yeah, you've paid it, And I'm actually now paid in advance, obviously. But they still want their 500 fucking quid for sending me fucking threatening letters. So that'll get mentioned as well. In fact, that's all going to, about 5 emails is all going to the Chief Constable because that's malicious communication. You like malicious communication, don't you, Alec Wood? You've tried to get me on it twice, so I shouldn't think there'll be a problem arresting Newlyn. Will there? And then, Ian Davies again. Thank you for your letter dated 20th August. If you have a complaint regarding the way the court was conducted, you will have an opportunity to make your feelings known at the next hearing. Or I can actually contact, they've actually given me a chance to contact him in advance. I suspect this was because I wrote to him and said he was a coward and wouldn't bother replying to my letters, because for 10 months they knew the only reason I wasn't paying council tax was because of my ban. And they didn't bother replying to anything. That's because they're neo-Nazi bully fucking cowards. So, you believe I've not complied with the law, and yet you've just set up another court hearing. I'm not being arrested then. Now, had this gone a different way, and this, I'll still use this, had this gone a different way and they just sent out the court order again. But either way, I'm going to lay into the fuckers big time this weekend. There is guidance from the Ministry of Justice, Practice Direction 40B, Judgments and Orders, Section 4.4. If the application is opposed, and that's the court order, it should be practicable, be listed. It should, if practicable, be listed for hearing before the judge who made the original order. Well, I do hope so, because the first question I'm going to ask the judge who made the original order was, why were the first words out your mouth, have you got the cash on you? There was 3 of us in there, me and my little box, Ian Davies and the magistrate, no clerk of the court, no one else. That's not a court hearing. And unfortunately now, there's evidential proof that Huntingdon's District Council produced their own court summons, their own court warrants, their own arrest warrants, and they've been blatantly sending out false court orders in order to jail people under threats and intimidation of getting their money. Which I do believe, to use a quaint little term, is called racketeering. Protection money. So, oh yes, I will be replying. But not the way you think. Still cat's out of the bag now. And if you haven't been arrested by September the 7th, I'll be very surprised, Ian Davies. Either way, I'll be requesting my own date for the court hearing because I'm the one opposing the judgment, not you. And to sit there and write me a letter like that, if you have a complaint regarding the way the court was conducted, when I've already told you your fucking court order was unsigned and had the wrong fucking date of birth on it, you must be the most grovelling, snivelling, kiss-arse, fucking wanker, arsehole in the fucking world. To sit there and pretend, the council does everything legally. I'm beginning to wonder if HDC does anything legally. Never mind everything. And that shall be highlighted in the letter, which shall be copied to the Chief Constable, who complaints are going off about this week because he hasn't arrested any of these people yet. For all the previous stuff. Jesus fucking Christ. What's wrong with these people? Seriously, I don't understand. Either they don't actually read English, which I find highly unlikely, or they don't understand English, which I could believe they're that fucking stupid. Because let's face it, Bailiff Matey's had nearly 5,000 views on my YouTube channel. Police chap who arrested me without reading me my rights has had 3,000, I think. So yes, they are that fucking stupid. But I shall be requesting a court hearing at my own time and convenience. Thank you very much. because you're a bunch of law-breaking, lying bastards. And that's about all I can say on that, really. Oh, and Chief Constable Alec Wood should resign because he's a fucking disgrace. Anyway, I shall upload this now. I shall see you all later.